Ultimately, in the NFL every year, you end up with 31 losers and 1 winner. The winner in the 2012 season ended up being the Baltimore Ravens. They were the Super Bowl champs. Now, in today's NFL, it could be really, really hard to even get back to the playoffs after winning the Super Bowl, let alone trying to become a team that actually gets back to the Super Bowl the very next year. It's really difficult. You have players that will get, after they win a championship, they retire. You have players that are free agents that end up going elsewhere because they get overpaid by teams because they were part of a Super Bowl winner. Whatever the case might be, it's very, very hard to keep your championship core nucleus around from one year to the next. And the Ravens are a perfect example of that. Ray Lewis, bang, bang. The murderer is gone from the middle in Baltimore. He was the franchise player there for 17 years, and he leaves a big, gaping void, dare I say, a bullet hole in the middle of that Ravens defense. Over the past few years, he wasn't nearly the player he once was, but he still was a presence. He still meant something. He still was the franchise player. He still was the heart and soul, the leader of that team. But along with him being gone, you got guys like Ed Reed are no longer there. Anquan Bolden's no longer there. Ellerby's no longer there. Matt Burke's no longer there. Paul Kruger's no longer there. Kerry Williams is no longer there. These are a lot of pieces and a lot of key components to your Super Bowl winner last year that you've got to replace. You've got to find somebody else to take their place because they're all gone. And in the offseason, Flacco got paid like a franchise quarterback. He said, "I won the Super Bowl, pay me, bitch!" And guess what? They paid him, bitch, over and over and over again. Phenomenal stuff for Joe Flacco. He said, "I get paid like a franchise quarterback with 0 4,000-yard passing seasons." When you look at the Ravens' offense for 2013, you still have an offense that their identity, I think, even though they're going to transition a little bit more into a passing team and become Flacco's team unquestionably, their offensive identity, I still believe, first and foremost, starts with the running game, with Ray Rice, with Bernard Pierce. A very nice 1-2 combination at running back. You've got Flacco, I think, like I said, he's going to have to take on more of the leadership role as the quarterback of the team, as the face of the franchise now that guys like Lewis and Reed are no longer in the picture. And as a result, I think you're going to see him throw more. I think he'll throw for more than 4,000 yards this year. He's got some weapons to work with out there. I like Smith. I really think Torrey Smith could be a very nice NFL wide receiver. Losing Pitta hurts, but you still got Dixon. They brought in Dallas Clark. But is Torrey Smith really a number 1 wide receiver? Is Jacoby Jones going to be an effective number 2 wide receiver? Are they going to get enough out of the tight end position? Those are questions I have for the offensive side of the football. Is Flacco a franchise quarterback that can throw for over 4,000 yards and lead his team to victory? When you look at them defensively, the Ravens over the past few years, frankly, were a great defense in name and reputation only. They were an average to below average at times unit that coasted by on name and reputation at moments, especially in the national sports media. You watch the Super Bowl. That was not a very good Ravens defense at all. And now they lose people like Ray Lewis and Ellerby and Kruger and Ed Reed and Kerry Williams. They lose a bunch of people off of a defense that wasn't very good to begin with. I would not be surprised with this unit that is in transition right now, even though they still have people like Haloti Ngata and Terrell Suggs to be leaders on the defense. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Ravens defense not be very good at all this year, be a very middle of the pack to even, bottom 12 or 13 defense in the NFL. So I don't think their secondary is all that great. They've got some changes they've got to make throughout their entire defensive lineup. I mean, they need recent draftees like Upshaw and Jimmy Smith and Matt Elam and Arthur Brown to step up and play big this year. They really do. If they can get that to happen, then they may be overrating the decline of the Ravens defense just a tad. But I still think they're going to be at times a liability for this football club in 2013. Some big games to watch for the Ravens this year. Week 1 at Denver. Week 3 at home against Houston. Week 10 against Cincinnati. These are some of the elite teams, if you will, in the AFC. And as the defending Super Bowl champions, the Ravens, these teams are going to be gunning for them. And if the Ravens can find a way to beat, between Denver, Houston, and Cincinnati, beat at least 2 of those teams, then that bodes very well for them heading towards the playoffs. Ultimately, I think the Ravens are going to drop off just a little bit from last year, but not very much. Let's face it. They had moments where they looked great early on in 2012 in the first half of the year. Then they kind of collapsed a little bit and then rebounded, got hot at the right time, and won it all. This is a team that I think is the second best team in the AFC North. May be able to sneak in as a wild card, but definitely to me on paper does not look like a team that is in any way going to be capable of repeating their Super Bowl victory from last season.